M&M's is removing all their beloved cartoon characters.
We need to talk about this. Welcome to the Goddamn News, your source for everything other news networks don't care about. I'm Brian Phillips. Over the last week, M&M's announced they'll be removing their spokes candies, causing the beloved M&M's characters to be unemployed. This is not some BS hoax that I'm pulling out of my ass. They made an official statement saying goodbye to the spokes candies, announcing M&M's will live on, but with a new face of the franchise. I'm sure you're all aware of the M&M characters in their little skits. Red and yellow getting at each other, trailers playing before a movie in theaters, the iconic Super Bowl commercials, etc. These characters have been with us for the longest of times, and it goes without saying in recent years, there's definitely been some controversy, like their recent inclusion of a trans M&M, or the infamous sexy green M&M. Years of experimentization all about to be thrown out the goddamn window. In order to understand what's going on, first, we need to take a look at how we got here. You probably weren't aware, but M&Ms, including backstories contributing to the characters' personalities, creating a deep and expansive lore throughout the decades, all of which is being sidelined. It was a marketing campaign by the company to be more inclusive and diverse with their characters, but ultimately led to a series of incidents and backlash as they kept trying to be more and more woke with their products. The first incident to get a lot of pushback was when the M&M characters got a redesign in January of last year, which forced all the characters to be genderless. As stated, this got a lot of pushback, most notably when Tucker Carlson had a meltdown on Fox News after he found out the M&Ms were no longer sexy. I'm not joking. This rant was memed about, but it ultimately boiled over the last year until the company couldn't take any more complaints, so they just scrapped all the characters. This led to another meltdown by Tucker just a few days ago, in which he stated, M&Ms will not be satisfied until every last cartoon character is deeply unappealing, and to some extent, he's right. However, he also said something about being turned off means equality, and I'm not really sure how to respond to that. I was shocked when I learned how big of a fan base the green M&M had and how she got over-sexualized because of her shoes, which is why M&M's had to change her attire from heels to sneakers. Now, you could say that this displayed slut-shaming by the M&M company, kinda like high school dress codes, but I think the better thing to say is it's a piece of candy. How horny do you have to be to get turned on by the green M&M? I will say they are considered an aphrodisiac, and couples may use them to boost their sex drive, but that doesn't mean you should be wanting to have sex with them. Obviously, the outfit wasn't the problem, it was how everyone responded to it. From a bunch of M&M fetishes to essentially desluttifying the characters, the company tried their best to be inclusive, even giving the characters a profile, but as mentioned before, their attempts at being woke did not really reflect what it means to be progressive. What was the point of having all these characters if you were just going to eventually make them all the same? So what if the green M&M is the sexy one? The brown M&M is equally as attractive and has the brains to complement her looks. That's another thing. The whole point of having all these characters was to have different personalities people could relate to, but it feels like they had the wrong idea regarding equality and diversity. Equality means to be treated as equals, and frankly, I don't really know what that has to do with M&Ms. Diversity, however, means reflecting a wide variety of characteristics, which includes a person's looks. Diversity is absolutely important when marketing any sort of product, as you want it to appeal to a large audience. That doesn't mean everybody though, because the truth is it's impossible to satisfy everybody. People just have the wrong idea when it comes to these factors and assume characters can't have any distinctive physical traits to reflect their personality. It was such a weird decision in the first place. They could have just not given them background stories to begin with because it's not that important. They make candy. Their goal is to sell M&Ms. Their target audience is people who like chocolate. You don't need to give them these personalities. Nobody's gonna go out of their way comparing themselves to the M&M characters. The characters don't need much explaining. If you aren't familiar with the M&M characters by now, I'll sum it up for you. Red tends to be aggressive, yellow is the goofy one, orange has anxiety, green is a goddess, blue is laid back, and brown is a diva. However, there's one character I mentioned before that was included only a few months ago and played a huge part as to why it and the rest of the M&M characters were removed.
I'm just gonna be me.
What? What the fuck?
For starters, Purple is implied to be trans, and I'm not making this next part up. Originally, its backstory was there an M&M who identifies as a Skittle. You can't make this up. Obviously, this was scrapped. However, once Purple was released, people immediately noticed how it was a female instead of a male, like in the original design. The company claimed this change was intended to be more inclusive, focusing more on the character's personality rather than the gender. Well, that was a lie, because shortly after its debut, M&M's released a new promo bag spotlighting the female characters, with Purple front and center. Yeah, it doesn't take a genius to put 2 and 2 together. This only created more controversy and went against everything they had previously stated. It was a poor marketing decision to say the least, but so is everything they've done since 2020. You might be asking what's next for M&M's. Well, they've been replaced with what M&M's believes is somebody everybody can agree on. Maya Rudolph. Yeah, I got no clue who that is. Well, that's not going to be problematic. The only thing I can really say in response to this is that using real people as the face for your product can be more controversial if you're not careful with who you pick. You're never going to see characters like Jester the Cheetah being accused of drug dealing unless it's a parody, just like how you're never going to see the M&M candies being accused of something like racism.
Daddy?
I just think there's a reason that we come in different bags.
Howard.
Daddy, all that matters is he's sweet.
He ain't half as sweet as white chocolate.
I hate you!
New M&M's dark chocolate.
Now more than ever, what people really want is an escape from reality, something that reflects positivity, and the more M&Ms tried to implement these concepts into their characters, the more controversial it became, which is why they ended up getting rid of them, failing to understand how it was never the characters that were the problem, but how they tried to correlate them into the real world. I'm sad to see the M&Ms go, and I don't know what to expect with Maya Rudolph handling this year's Super Bowl commercial. There is a theory, though, about how this is going to be a bait switch where Maya Rudolph's going to come on stage and announce the M&Ms are back and sexier than ever. And honestly, I'm in huge favor of that theory. Hopefully, whenever the M&M characters return, they'll finally break free from reality and be their own person, not some reflection of real-life standards implemented on them by society. Thank you all for watching the video. Drop a like and leave a comment down below. I'm Brian Phillips, and this has been The Goddamn News.